One of the most difficult things to do as a content creator is to offer a different take to that of another content creator, because then their fans go like fight, fight, fight. Like no, legitimately, I do not have any grievances against Matt Walsh. However, every now and then he says something so boomerish that I feel the need to comment. And I do understand that usually he is trolling, but like, let's be honest. If you go into the comment section of this post, which has 1.2 million views, you're going to notice that many subscribers agree with this take, which is the reason that I'm making the video. So apparently, according to him, he believes that the church ladies of the 80s and the 90s recognized that modern music largely celebrated vice and stupidity rather than beauty and goodness. And they rightly saw that as a deeply troubling trend that would lead to exactly the same culture we have today. In other words, if you're disturbed by songs like Wet Ass Posse or whatever, you have to recognize that there is a direct line connecting that song to the sort of stuff that was popular a few decades ago. It didn't come out of nowhere. So the problem that I have with this take is that it requires us to believe that things are worse now than they have been in the past. And if you look at Mozart, for instance, he has a famous song which is even played at certain high theaters. It's called "Lick mein Arsch." Direct translation would be "Lick me in the ass, lick it good," right? These types of obscene songs have existed since time immemorial. I'm willing to bet that even in the Roman military, they would also sing certain obscene songs. So to like believe that in the 80s and the 90s we didn't have strip clubs, prostitution, and also vulgar art is to completely be ignorant of the subcultures and the trends in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, you also had hippies and other people that were behaving in a way that Matt Walsh would disagree. I would say that the thing we have today, which people didn't have back then, is technology. It's a lot more easier to make a song like Wet Ass Pussy go viral in 2023 than it was back then. And the main issue that I have with the Wet Ass Pussy is that even though there are terms of service and various systems in place in order to make sure that such crude songs wouldn't be allowed on mainstream platforms, for some reason Wet Ass Pussy manages to get a pass. I'm saying this because Belle Delphine, which is, I would consider her the Alex Jones of e-girls in levels of trolling, recreated the exact scenes from that video clip on her channel, and you know what happened? Her channel got terminated within a couple of seconds. So, in other words, she had to go and pressure YouTube on Twitter in order for YouTube to return her channel back. But it does go to show that there is a two-tier system. And the reason you have songs like WAP, which are popular, is because the rules aren't being applied equally. But if you also want to talk about harmful cultures, I guess it depends, what country you're referring to. Like, for example, in Romania, we have legalized brothels back in the day. Is that like better or not than we have today? I mean, sure, we have Twitch and OnlyFans today, but back then you actually had the houses of tolerance, we called it. So I'm not really sure that the current day is a lot more evil and vile than the past. The reality is, if you lived in the 80s and the 90s and you wanted to find your smut, there were ways to get it. There were porn magazines, there were cassettes with porn. Like you had ways where you could acquire the type of distasteful art that Matt Walsh doesn't like. I guess it's a lot more easier to acquire it today, but at the same time, I could point out that if you don't want to be exposed to it, you don't have to. Like, if you don't like the type of songs that Wet Ass Pussy have to offer, then do not listen to them. No one is forcing you. No one is compelling you, right? But like, for some reason, and this is not Matt Walsh himself, but it's in the comments. Like, if you go into the comments of this, you'll see many people justifying that music needs to be banned, right? So I guess there needs to be an institution, an art censor, which looms over the musician and decides what he is and isn't allowed to sing, I suppose. The main problem that I have with this is that usually the censors, they want the stuff that they like to be allowed, but the stuff that they don't like, they want that to be censored, right? So I guess they like church music, but the music they don't like should be banned. So Why should the censor be allowed to have his toys is my question. If you believe that music can lead to sin, then ban all the music. I personally don't like music. I don't give a fuck. I can live a life without music, and there are Muslim nations that also do this. So, like, ban all music then. Oh, now all of a sudden the censor doesn't like it because his church music gets banned. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you want to ban stuff from me, why shouldn't I advocate for stuff from you to be banned? Just simply out of spite and malice. Because if you don't care about the type of music that I like, and by the way, I don't even listen to WAP, but it's just like the very notion, like the very idea that a person that I don't know, that is not connected to my family in any way, shape, or form, that would never give me financial aid if I ever need to, like that chuckle fuck gets to decide what I get to listen to or not, like that offends me to no belief. And if that happens, then I want to know who that person is, what do they like, so I can come after that. And if everyone would behave like me, then we would have less censors. Because people would be like, okay, well, how badly do I want to get rid of this? Because then someone else is going to get rid of something that I like. Right? So I believe like that would be an acceptable compromise, right? You think music is evil? Fine, you made your point. All music needs to be banned. Oh, but my music isn't evil. It normalizes evil. It is a path to damnation. From church music to hip-hop to WAP. Not to mention, you know, like all of this is completely ridiculous. Like you can't say that from heavy metal, like from Metallica, you get to WAP. Like different musics have different genres. Like Metallica inspires one type of music, WAP is inspired from a completely different one, and it's usually like the type of culture that is being festered in certain communities, which leads to people enjoying that type of music. Like for example, the lived experiences that I have make me unable to enjoy WAP in any way, shape, or form. And it's not because like I don't like my smoothie, or that I do not necessarily like to see ladies that are skimpily clad on the screen. It's just that I find it vulgar and crass. Like there's different type of sexuality, there's different type of things that I enjoy. Like for example, an anime intro song that has Mikasa like flying around and doing shit. I enjoy that more than WAP. But again, like it's a difference. And if you want to solve the problem, you would have to like figure out why the communities that enjoy that type of thing, well, you know, like what leads them to enjoy a video where a woman is talking about the lyrics that WAP has, right? So that would be if you like want to sincerely address the problem rather than just making sure that those songs don't exist. And by the way, there's also something else to be said here. This boomerish take that I see from American right-wingers, which is like, ban this, ban that, ban it, ban it, ban it, ban it. This is why the left is unironically winning the culture war. Like, when the left sees something, it tries to subvert it. So, like, the left will say, hey, you know, join us, you can have your entertainment. I mean, sure, it's woke crap, but at least it's entertainment. Like, you can still do something. Meanwhile, the right is like, you're allowed to worship God and you're allowed to worship Jesus. You go to work, you toil for 12 hours, and then you go home and you go to sleep because tomorrow it is Sunday church and you need to worship Jesus yet again. And I'm like, okay, but like that's a life that no one... I mean, sure, like maybe that type of life is fulfilling for you. But you can see why a teenager is not going to be attracted to that. And is going to give you the middle finger because in reality you're just a guy on Twitter and have no authority over him. Your ideology doesn't control major institutions. It doesn't even control politicians or the academia or the schools. So you can't moralize. You don't even have like a leg to stand on. You're just an old man screaming, it's like, ban this, ban that, worship Jesus. So a lot of young kids are going to go to the left, right? Because they have subverted everything. They have the entertainment. And they are going to promote their version and their ideology through that entertainment. I learned more conservative values, unironically, hands down, more right-wing and conservative values watching anime than I have watching Matt Walsh or any other type of conservative pundit. You should ask yourself why that is, because it's a big problem. Now, if right-wingers were serious about pushing their ideology, they would try to subvert various entertainments like TV shows, music, and whatnot in order to push their message through it and make sure that the message resonates with the target audience and this is some cringe shit. You can only push cringe shit when you have domination over the culture. Like when you can start cancel culturing people, you know, pushing people out of the industry who doesn't, like what the left is doing. That's why the left can afford to push cringe shit. But when you're a right-winger, you can't. And you shouldn't advocate for like ban this, ban that. Again, it's not Matt Walsh that wants to ban it, but if you go into the comment section, you'll see a lot of people that do it. I'm talking to those people right now. And it's also the fact that the left, like for example, when they see something successful, even if it's made by a right winger, like Minecraft, what do? They buy it. They buy it and they fucking subvert it. Minecraft is malware right now, literally spyware. Like Microsoft got it and made sure that if you play Minecraft, everything you say is logged in the chat. Didn't used to be like that, right? They try to social engineer people. What is acceptable and what isn't acceptable to say in chat. There are certain things that when you go outside, you can say them, but in Minecraft, you cannot. This is what the left does. Right-wingers don't do anything like that. Right-wingers, if they don't like Minecraft, they ban it. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.